Chinese history is an extraordinary chronicle of more than 4,000 years, spanning numerous dynasties, each leaving an indelible mark on the cultural, political, and social fabric of one of the world's greatest civilizations. From the semi-legendary Xia Dynasty to the fall of the Qing Dynasty, each era is marked by extraordinary achievements, profound philosophies, and, at times, devastating failures. Let us delve into the detailed histories of each dynasty, exploring their emperors, achievements, and challenges. This video is the beginning of a series of videos on this channel that are aimed to document the Chinese dynasties and be a reference for all viewers interested in the Chinese history. The upcoming videos will focus on each individual dynasty in full depth. Xia Dynasty, 2070 BCE to 1600 BCE. The Xia Dynasty is traditionally regarded as the first dynasty in Chinese history, though its existence is partially shrouded in legend. Archaeological discoveries such as the Erlatau culture have provided some evidence that aligns with the Xia timeline, but there is still debate about whether the Xia was a historical or purely legendary period. Yu the Great, the dynasty's founder, is renowned for controlling the devastating floods of the Yellow River. By implementing large-scale irrigation and canal systems, Yu exemplified the Confucian ideals of responsibility and virtue. This flood control effort not only established his legitimacy but also marked the beginning of centralized governance. The Xia dynasty reportedly spanned 17 rulers, from Yu the Great to Jia, its last king. Jia's rule is infamous for his decadence and cruelty, which purportedly led to the dynasty's downfall. During this period, advancements in bronze metallurgy, agriculture, and social stratification laid the groundwork for later Chinese civilizations. However, the Xia dynasty's historical record is largely mythological, making it a subject of both reverence and scrutiny. Shang Dynasty, 1600 BCE to 1046 BCE. The Shang dynasty is the first in Chinese history to leave substantial archaeological evidence. Centered around the Yellow River Valley, the Shang saw the rise of a complex society with hierarchical governance, organized religion, and technological advancements. The dynasty's rulers, such as King Tang and King Wuding, presided over a centralized monarchy that depended heavily on agriculture and trade. The Shang period is notable for the development of Chinese writing, which emerged from oracle bone inscriptions used in divination practices. These inscriptions provide invaluable insights into the dynasty's social, political, and religious systems. Bronze casting reached unprecedented sophistication during the Shang, producing ritual vessels and weapons. The dynasty also developed advanced chariot warfare, giving it military dominance over neighboring states. Despite these achievements, the Shang rulers' excessive focus on rituals and the exploitation of their people weakened the state. The Shang dynasty fell to the Zhou after the Battle of Muye, signaling the end of this era of dominance. Zhou Dynasty, 1046 BCE to 256 BCE. The Zhou dynasty, the longest-lasting dynasty in Chinese history, is traditionally divided into two periods: the Western Zhou, 1046 BCE to 771 BCE, and the Eastern Zhou, 771 BCE to 256 BCE. The latter is further divided into the Spring and Autumn period and the Warring States period. The Zhou introduced the Mandate of Heaven, a pivotal concept in Chinese political philosophy that justified the ruler's authority as divinely ordained but revocable if the ruler failed in their duties. This principle legitimized the Zhou's conquest of the Shang and became a cornerstone of Chinese governance. The Western Zhou period was characterized by stability and the establishment of a feudal system. However, the dynasty's authority waned during the Eastern Zhou, giving rise to the Spring and Autumn period, 770 BCE to 476 BCE, a time of decentralized rule and burgeoning intellectual activity. Philosophical giants like Confucius, Laojia, and Sun Tzu emerged, laying the foundations of Confucianism, Taoism, and military strategy. The Warring States period, 475 BCE to 221 BCE, was marked by intense interstate conflict as regional lords vied for dominance. This era of strife ultimately ended with the rise of the Qin state, which unified China under its first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. Qin Dynasty, 221 BCE to 206 BCE. Although short-lived, the Qin dynasty's impact on Chinese history was profound. Qin Shi Huang, China's first emperor, is best remembered for unifying China through military conquest and sweeping administrative reforms. The Qin centralized power, abolishing the feudal system and dividing the empire into commanderies directly governed by the emperor's officials. Standardization of weights, measures, currency, and even the writing script facilitated trade and communication across the vast empire. Monumental projects such as the Great Wall and the Emperor's Mausoleum, guarded by the Terracotta Army, symbolize the Qin's ambition and authority. However, Qin Shi Huang's draconian policies, including book burnings and harsh taxation, bred resentment among the populace. Following his death, the dynasty quickly collapsed due to internal revolts and infighting. Han Dynasty, 206 BCE to 220 CE. The Han Dynasty is often considered a golden age in Chinese history. It saw significant territorial expansion, cultural flourishing, and technological innovation. The Han period is divided into the Western Han, 206 BCE to 9 CE, and the Eastern Han, 25 CE to 220 CE. Under Emperor Wu, 141 BCE to 87 BCE, the Han expanded into Central Asia, Korea, and Vietnam. The establishment of the Silk Road facilitated trade and cultural exchange between China and the West. Innovations in agriculture, astronomy, and papermaking contributed to the dynasty's prosperity. Confucianism was institutionalized as the state ideology, shaping Chinese governance and education for centuries. Despite these achievements, the Han faced challenges, including corruption, peasant uprisings like the Yellow Turban Rebellion, and factional court politics. These issues eventually led to the dynasty's downfall, ushering in the Three Kingdoms period. Between the fall of the Han Dynasty in 220 CE and the rise of the Tang Dynasty in 618 CE, China experienced a period of fragmentation, political instability, and cultural transformation known as the Six Dynasties period. This era is further divided into several smaller periods, notably the Three Kingdoms, Qin Dynasty, Western and Eastern, and the Southern and Northern dynasties. The Sui Dynasty, 581 to 618 CE. The Sui Dynasty, though short-lived, played a pivotal role in reunifying China after centuries of division. Founded by Emperor Wen of Sui, the dynasty implemented critical reforms. Centralization, the Sui re-established a strong central bureaucracy, standardized coinage, and reformed taxation. Infrastructure, monumental projects like the Grand Canal, which linked northern and southern China, boosted trade and economic integration. Military campaigns, while successful in reunifying China, costly military campaigns against Korea and internal revolts strained the empire. The Sui dynasty overreach led to its downfall, but its reunification efforts paved the way for the Tang dynasty, which inherited a stabilized and centralized empire. This tumultuous period between the Han and Tang dynasties was essential in shaping Chinese history. It laid the groundwork for the cultural, political, and technological advancements of the Tang dynasty. Tang dynasty, 618 to 907. The Tang dynasty is widely regarded as a cultural and political high point in Chinese history. It was a time of immense artistic, literary, and economic development. Tang emperors like Taizong and Xuanzong expanded the empire's borders and established Chang'an as a thriving cosmopolitan capital. The dynasty's promotion of Buddhism and the flourishing of poetry under poets such as Li Bei and Du Fu exemplified its cultural achievements. The Tang also made strides in trade and technology, fostering international exchanges through the Silk Road. However, internal strife, such as the Enlushan Rebellion, weakened the dynasty. By the late 9th century, the Tang's grip on power had eroded, leading to its eventual collapse. Between the fall of the Tang dynasty in 907 and the establishment of the Song dynasty in 960, China experienced a period of political fragmentation and regional conflict known as the Five Dynasties and Ten Kingdoms period. This 53-year period was marked by a series of short-lived regimes and significant cultural and political developments. The Five Dynasties, 907 to 960. In northern China, 5 successive dynasties ruled in rapid succession, each based in or near the capital cities of Luoyang or Kaifeng. These dynasties struggled for control over the remnants of the Tang Empire and faced ongoing instability. 1. Later Liang Dynasty, 907 to 923, founded by Zhou Wen, a former Tang general. This dynasty controlled much of northern China but faced constant challenges from regional warlords. Zhou Wen's assassination by his son further destabilized the regime. 2. Later Tang Dynasty, 923 to 936, established by Li Kunshu. This dynasty briefly restored some unity but was plagued by internal strife and rebellion. 3. Later Qin Dynasty, 936 to 947, founded by Shi Jingtang with the aid of the Khitan Liao Empire. The Qin relied heavily on the Liao, eventually losing territory to their powerful allies. 4. Later Han Dynasty, 947 to 951, a brief dynasty established by Lu the Yuan. The Han struggled to consolidate power before succumbing to internal discord. 5. Later Zhou Dynasty, 951 to 960, founded by Guo Wei. This was the most stable of the 5 dynasties. It implemented reforms to stabilize northern China, setting the stage for the eventual reunification under the Song. Song Dynasty, 960 to 1279. The Song Dynasty is notable for its advances in science, technology, and economic prosperity. Divided into the Northern Song, 960 to 1127, and Southern Song, 1127 to 1279, the dynasty faced constant threats from nomadic invaders. Technological innovations such as gunpowder, the compass, and movable type printing emerged during this period. The Song's economic reforms and vibrant urban culture made it one of the most prosperous eras in Chinese history. However, military weakness and external threats, particularly from the Mongols, led to the dynasty's fall. In 1279, the Mongols established the Yuan dynasty, bringing an end to Song rule. Yuan dynasty, 1271 to 1368. Founded by Kublai Khan, the Yuan dynasty represented a unique era of Mongol rule over China. The dynasty facilitated significant cultural and technological exchanges between East and West due to its expansive empire. While the Yuan retained many Chinese administrative practices, they faced resistance from the Han Chinese majority. Internal strife and natural disasters contributed to the dynasty's decline, paving the way for the Ming dynasty. Ming dynasty, 1368 to 1644. The Ming dynasty restored Han Chinese rule and presided over a period of cultural renaissance. It is renowned for its architectural achievements, such as the Forbidden City, and its naval explorations under Admiral Zheng He. Despite its early successes, the Ming struggled with corruption, fiscal problems, and internal revolts. The dynasty fell to the Manchu-led Qing in 1644. Qing Dynasty, 1644 to 1912. The Qing Dynasty, China's last imperial dynasty, saw both territorial expansion and internal decline. Early rulers like Kangxi and Qianlong oversaw a flourishing empire. However, the Opium Wars, Taiping Rebellion, and foreign encroachments weakened the Qing. The 1911 Xinhai Revolution ended Qing rule, marking the transition to the Republic of China and the end of over 2 millennia of imperial rule.